Each year, Easter Seals changes the lives of thousands of people with disabilities in our area. People like Niles Stevenson.
Niles was born with and was diagnosed with what's known as a heterotopic brain, which is actually the brain was scrambled. And they picked up on it right away with a CAT scan. And he has a severe seizure disorder because of the structure of his brain. And we pretty much went through his infancy with going to the doctors and keeping an eye on the seizures. And when Niles was around 18 months old, the doctor prescribed physical therapy for him. And this was how we first came to the Easter Seal Center. It was way more than a physical therapy program. I couldn't have been more pleased. It was an early intervention child program. He attended 4 days a week. They had a counseling program for the mothers, and while the children were getting their therapy, the children were in one large room together with all kinds of bright, beautiful, colored equipment, very stimulating. And the mothers would go and sit and talk and get to talk about their fears and their problems. And eventually we were all beginning to feel like normal mothers and feeling like we had a life. He graduated in the year 2000, so he was 21 years old. There again, Easter Seals was there for us. It was the only place that had a program that I knew could handle Niles's level of disability, the seizures that he still has and has been having the whole time daily, and have dealt with that issue. A totally safe environment that I could take him to that was stimulating. He loves going. He gets up in the morning and gets on his DART bus, looks forward to going. And for me, sometimes I'm not so sure if Easter Seals is more for me or more for him, because I could not live my life without them.
People like Barry Brustman.
Well, I was always hiking. Always hiking. I was very into nature. I was a full-blown peaceful hippie, you know, in the 70s. I was the flower child, you know. As soon as I had my kids to take care of, I took them on hikes, long hikes. I got bit by a Lyme tick, and I only waited a week to see a doctor, but apparently didn't know that then. But what we know now is that's too long to wait, because the Lyme disease gets really into the body at that point. And I can remember every joint in my body hurting at the same time. It was very excruciatingly painful. But after that, when it was all done, I thought it was all done with. But then my muscles felt like they were shortening. So finally I found a doctor who discovered that it was a muscle disease. By the time they found out I had a muscle disease, I had been bedridden for 6 months. But then gradually I saw that I lost all my friends. Nobody wanted to be bothered with me. Nobody wanted to take me anywhere. And I just stayed home and stayed home and stayed home. And after years of basically staying home, except to go to doctor's appointments or physical therapy, and I rarely ever got out outside of that, I just got really depressed, and I did get suicidal, I did. Because I thought I was worthless. I had no use anymore. Easter Seals was a real godsend to me. It made me feel like I was in control again, and I was, you know, had my autonomy back. You know, I mean, it was just, it's done so much for my life. They've given me a lot of my self-confidence back. I don't feel worthless anymore. You know, they've complimented me and made me feel that I make other people feel good, and made me realize I still have the gifts that I had, you know, and I still have a way of using them. Maybe not in the manner in which I had, but maybe I could expand on that. But at least I still have gifts, and they're still appreciated.
1 in every 5 people will experience a disability in their lifetime. You never know when it might happen to you or someone you love. In order to provide these life-changing programs and services, Easter Seals need your help. They have begun a much-needed expansion in Sussex County that will enable them to impact the lives of even more people who need them both today and into the future. As this building becomes reality, so does their vision of transforming the lives of twice as many people with disabilities that they serve in our area. You've heard about what it's like to face the challenges of a disability. Please consider what you can do to support Easter Seals. When we all do our part, it makes it so much easier. Now let me tell you about another person whose life was changed by Easter Seals. A local contractor who had a massive brain aneurysm. It was 2 months before his wedding, and suddenly he couldn't remember anything, not even his own name. The doctors said his chances for recovery were slim, but his therapist at Easter Seals stepped in to make the difference and provide some much needed rehabilitation. He returned to his former life. He married his beautiful fiancée, and they have a wonderful daughter named Katie. By the way, that guy was me. I'm Gary Bickford. I'm a living example of the difference that Easter Seals can make in the life of a person with a disability. I hope that you'll help them do the same for others.